Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Let's go through the album's 6 singles. The album opens with All I Really Want. It was the last song written for the album. Glenn Ballard says Alanis was really spent by the time they put this song together.
Yeah, it was. But that line about the sweater, the backwards inside out, they just thought that that was a great opening to the album because that really was like the question leading into the rest of the album to come.
The lead single from the album is track 2, You Ought to Know. A couple famous musicians appear on the track. Dave Navarro on guitar, Flea on bass. Were they in the same studio at the time? I can't remember the story. There was some connection.
Yeah, it was actually through Guy Oseary, who knew, he's part of Maverick, so he knew Flea and Dave. Red Hot Chili Peppers were not on tour at the time. And I think the idea was they were really trying to figure out where to kind of pivot or put Alanis. Alternative radio was breaking at the time. It was super huge. And I think there was an idea that she could find her footing in there, but they needed to have this really strong rock backbone. And so those two, of course, added to the album. And yeah, I think K-Rock then was like, sure, we should play this because look who's on it.
Alanis thought about changing the lyrics at one point, but Glenn Ballard talked her out of it. Why did she want the lyrics to be changed?
I think she almost thought, am I going too far? Should I really be saying these things? And I think she, at a point, had qualms of opening up as much as she did. And that, of course, being the first song, which was her decision. But I think she had a moment to pause and maybe reconsider.
Hand in my pocket, she and Glenn were being hard on themselves to come up with a song on this particular day. So Alanis decided, just write about whatever's on my mind, whatever I'm feeling.
Yeah, and that song is such a great kind of snapshot of life in your 20s, all the contradictions, all the weird ways life kind of confuses you. And it was just what she was thinking about and a great example of her stream of consciousness writing.
And then You Learn, another huge crossover hit, number 6 on Billboard, about life lessons and how they can be hard pills to swallow. Alanis, she did swallow some hard pills when she arrived in LA. She was robbed at gunpoint.
Yeah, it's weird. Alanis has been robbed several times in her life. Super strange. But the most pivotal was when here she was, this innocent Canadian, fresh to LA, and got a stark slap in the face of reality when she was walking home one night from the gym. She had 2 backpacks with her. One had her gym gear, one had her lyrics in her notebook with the material of Jagged Little Pill. And she was robbed at gunpoint and she was on the ground and she was just praying in her head, please take the one bag and not my backpack with the lyrics in it. And thankfully they didn't.
Head over feet. When she wrote this, she was experiencing a new kind of relationship.
Yeah, so everyone thinks, she was tagged as this angry young woman when she came to the surface because of You Ought to Know and the passion in that song. But there's so many emotions on this album. And Head Over Feet is really about feeling in love. And it was about a friend who had turned into something more. And it was just really pure emotion about feeling very content with someone.
You did mention ironic. This all started with something she said while she and Glenn were having lunch.
Yes. So they actually would meet for meals. That's how they would start their sessions. They would just have a conversation, tea, food in a studio, and that's how they would get the sort of wheels moving and turning to start creating the song for that day.
And I had no idea she took so much heat from the grammar police on the song. I really didn't know. Who cares? The song's great.
I know.
Yeah,
but
she could have called it coincidental, right? If she got...
I know, but it wouldn't have the same ring to it. But it's, she's been a good sport about it. She's redone the song for modern times. She did it during COVID about waiting for your Amazon package to arrive. I mean, she's been
Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.